Mike here, back at Hot Rods by Todd to give you an update on the 69 EcoBoost. Holy crap, so much has changed. We have a lot to cover. Let's get started. If we flash back to episode 1, you could see it was an obvious choice of why we had to go with the shock tower deletes. It was a little bit extra work, but the final product was totally worth it. Another item on our list was the rear axle, and we followed through with our plan to go with the Explorer rear end, which incredibly comes with rear disc brakes. If you remember, this thing had manual drums on all fours. It is so hard to believe that people used to drive around like this and it was completely normal. I'm scared to death every time I drive this car. I'm just thinking, please, 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 nobody pull out in front of me, because I would just have to slam on the brakes and hope this car stops. Manual brakes with drums, I wish that upon nobody. But now we've got power disc brakes all the way around. It's gonna be a night and day difference that I am definitely looking forward to. So let's check out the current state of the interior. It still has the stock seat in it for the time being. Part of the challenge of fitting the MT82 trans into the 69 Mustang is the sheer size. In order for the 6-speed manual trans from the 2014 Mustang V6 to fit, Todd had to make a custom trans tunnel. Now, when I was first planning this project, I really wanted to keep the old look of the interior. There were, however, a few things that I knew would no longer work. The center console obviously had to be heavily modified with this custom trans tunnel. The dashboard squeaked and it drove me crazy. So I knew that was gonna go, and it turns out it was a dash pad cover on top of a very destroyed dash. This is ultimately what started me down the interior upgrades river. I fell in love with the clean line, smooth finish of this dash. It's a domino effect. With the dash looking so fresh and so clean, the seats were gonna have to go as well. Now these aren't installed yet, but here's a preview of the style we're going with. So yeah, it's a little bit of a mix and match. Stock steering wheel, stock gauge bezel, and a very cool option we're going with from Dakota Digital. This should allow us to use the PCM to connect to and pull everything via OBD2. As things always go, we found the transmission with a bent shifter linkage, which means upgrade. We went with a Barton shifter that had everything we needed and feels great. We've got a functional clutch pedal, and I got to feel where the shifter will end up. Very cool stuff. Now when I look at this interior, this is what really freaks me out. So torn up, it's really hard to imagine it coming back together, but that's why Todd's doing it and not me. The engine has been mounted now for a while. Todd was first figuring things out, mocking with 2x4s, and the final location ended up moving a few times actually. We had some sway bar clearance issues. Then we also had shifter location issues, as well as trans tunnel fitment. So it moved around a bunch. And we gained a ton of space with the shock tower deletes, but as we're adding things in here, we are running out of space at an alarming rate. In the front here, we have to figure out the routing for the intake charge pipe, and you can see here how little space we have. To get an idea on intercooler location as well as routing, we have this wood mock-up. The grill support had to go, and After some discussion, the hood release is going as well, which means hood pins. Holes are gonna be cut in several locations here. We're trying to keep the battery in the original location, but that's really up in the air. We'll see on that one. The power steering and AC compressor were added. Neither came with the Crate engine. The power steering is actually from a 3.5 Transit, because it wasn't an option on the F-150. Steering shaft is set up and functional. Now for the master cylinder, it came out of a Dodge Ram, and I think it really fits with the clean factory look that we're going for. On the underside of things, this trans cross member came out amazing. It might be hard to tell from this angle, but everything is extremely flat here and even. You can get an idea of where the exhaust is gonna route through here. It's gonna look really good. So much accomplished, but still a long way to go. Up ahead, we have interior work, some fabrication, drive shaft, control pack wiring, fuel lines, exhaust. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, check out our other videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.